Hello everyone, this is Bhavik Chokshi here. I hope you guys are doing great. Now in today's video, we would be addressing a very commonly asked question in the course of your CA final revision and preparation journey is how do I revise FR? This really interesting, hopefully, subject, but a really humongous one. How do I kind of get over it? What is the sequence I should follow? What is the number of hours it should take? And what should be the individual topic wise breakup? We have tried to address that by preparing a study planner. This is particularly helpful for students giving the November 23 attempt as well as May 24 attempt. Can also be referred by students giving their subsequent attempts as well. So I'll share this file where you have topic wise as well as total hours to be dedicated and revision video links on the Telegram channel. So please, you can refer from the Telegram channel. In this video, I will just broadly run you through the things that you should remember and the allocation, the sequence, etc. So there's no one size fits all. And as a result, what we have done is we have tried to prepare three different plans for three different time frames. First, if your target is completing FR in around 10 to 12 days, in my opinion, this is a minimum time, 120 hours you will take to do justice to the entire course. So please don't try to speed up before that, otherwise your understanding will be shallow. Dedicate close to 120 hours bare minimum. At max, if you have a lot of time, which probably a November 23 student will not have, but if you are, let us say, a November 24 student or onwards, if you have sufficient time, then 175 hours, that is 14 to 16 days. Effectively, I'm assuming, just for the purpose of calculation, I'm assuming you are on study leave where you are referring, you are studying for around 10 to 12 hours on a day on an average. I know the May 24 and November 24 students are not on study leave, but obviously I have given the breakup hour-wise as well and overall in terms of effective days. The APT strategy, in my opinion, is a strategy that sits right in the middle. Like in your SFM, you say the best case, worst case, and the base case, the average case. So the average case, which is there in the center, is your APT strategy. If I were a student, I would stick to the strategy right in the center. Having said that, the other two strategies can also be used in case you're short of time or you have sufficiently greater time. So over here, we are putting a strategy where you can complete the entire course. This is for a detailed preparation. I'm not saying that you just kind of glance through and do patchwork. This is for a detailed, decent preparation, which is something which is strongly recommended for your first paper. So minimum, I will take 120 hours. If I think that my FR is relatively okayish, I'm not very fluent with all the terms and workings, then the second one, which is close to 145 hours, 140 hours odd, is your ideal plan. And if you are probably November 24 and onwards, then 175 hours. I'll currently focus on the plan right at the center, which you should kind of target. Keep a lower limit and the upper limit as the other two plans, ideally. So these are the three possible plans based on your strengths and weaknesses. You know how good you are in a subject. You can kind of firm up on the strategy you want to follow. I've also given links for revision videos. For every topic that is there, we have a revision video on YouTube. So in case a good strategy would be, before you're starting the revision, you can just quickly refer the 15 or 20 minute video that would be there, or even while you're traveling, you can refer that 15-20 minute video and kind of be prepared with the overall concepts of that topic through the YouTube video, and then start revising. It will be a lot more smooth because you might have done FR a long time back and it is very normal. Trust me, you will get jitters that I don't remember stuff, but that is very normal. Even we face that, even other people face it. When you're revising, you would have done courses some time back, and hence it is normal to kind of feel a little off place. But once you kind of get into the groove, things come back, they connect fairly well. It is important that you continue with the momentum. You don't kind of freak out. They are there in your mind. You just need to kind of give it some time, recall those concepts, and you will remember stuff. So over here, the sequence that I would suggest you follow is FR, as you would be aware, is segregated between a lot of indices individually which are relatively smaller, and a few topics which are almost certain to come in your exam, like financial instruments, business combination, consolidation, revenue, leases, share-based payments, etc. Now what we want to do is, we don't want to keep all the indices at one go. We don't want to keep all the major topics at one go, and hence we kind of employ a strategy where we kind of break this up into probably 5 or 6 different sections, where you first get into the groove by studying all asset linked indices. So when I look at asset linked indices, we start with property, plant and equipment, then going into intangibles, investment property, impairment, non-current assets held for sale, borrowing cost, agriculture, all of these, except for leases. Here we will also cover government grants. So except for leases, everything else you do as the first part. What we have tried to do is, we have tried to give you the hours. So for example, PP will take close to 6.5 hours ideally. Intangibles around 2.5 hours, investment property 1.5 hours on an average, and so on. So when you are starting a topic, you have a target in mind. Otherwise, you will sit with investment property for the entire day. Now that is not worth it, right? I can understand that you want to understand everything at a lot of depth, but even if you give that 1.5 hours for investment property, your overall course will then take 145 hours to revise. So, well, while you have to be a jack of all, so you have to complete everything and not just financial reporting. So you have to draw a line. Okay, so this is the time I have to complete, otherwise you will keep on spending a lot of time and there will be no end. So ensure that you kind of have that target topic wise and overall category wise in your mind. Similarly, you have all of these other standards. If you are probably not as good in impairment, you can say, okay, on an average it should take 6, but I'll take 7 hours. For example, let us say, 7 hours, let us say, on impairment. So you have that range in front of you. So for all of these asset linked topics, I would say approximately 30 hours is a good point of time to complete all the asset linked topics. Now you are in the groove for studying financial reporting, and you can jump on to the major topics where we do share based payments, and then go to the kind of the master of India's topics, that is financial instruments. So over here, fair value is a base that you use for all of them. So we first finish the fair value standard, close to an hour and a half, and then go to share based payments where fair value is applied, 109 where fair value is extensively applied. So over here, close to 28 to again 30 hours, as you see, on an average. For the second section, 1.5 hours for the fair value measurement, then share based payment around 5 to 6 hours, and then close to 20 to 25 hours, I would say, kept for financial instruments. Please do not kind of take shortcuts over here while you're doing financial instruments. The important topics like off-market transactions, like amortized cost workings, like compound financial instruments, derivative accounting, derecognition of financial liabilities should be given their due weights. Again, at the time of your first revision, you should not kind of skip and do only the important sums. You can do that probably at that stage of later revisions, but at the stage of first revision, you should revise. You should go through every question and probably try even on pen and paper a few numericals of each topic. So the topics which we in class or wherever you have done would have been marked as important in every topic. Try to do the numericals on pen and paper. Easier problems you can do directly on your calculators, but the numericals, at least 20% of a particular chapter, try to do it on pen and paper so that you have a very important writing speed, and second, you kind of are aware on the flow of the working. So you may not necessarily do all the 100% on a pen and paper. You will calculate, probably do it in rough, but probably at least 20 to 30% of a topic on an average you should try to do on pen and paper minimum. Ideal would be to do everything, but again, we have time constraints, so depending on how good you are or how fast you are, you can try to take your decision over there. So once you are done with financial instruments, this is a little draining out for you because it's a very heavy topic. It does not really justify going directly to business combination and consolidation. It kind of is helpful if you kind of break it into break your journey and take few other small indices which are linked to liabilities, which have some connection with your financial instruments as well, linked to disclosure, like EPS. If you have studied, there's a lot of financial instruments impact over there. Employee benefits, kind of the amortization table impact over there. So we will go to the disclosures where we do earnings per share, then liability linked standards like provisions and contingencies, employee benefits, and then a few very light topics like Index 1, presentation and disclosure, post balance sheet period, changes in policies, cash flow statement, and interim reporting. So another 20 odd hours for smaller topics. Then you kind of address the elephant in the room. You go to business combination, group accounting, you go to business combination and consolidation. Now there's no point keeping this right for the end. These are big topics, require their fair share of time. Very important over here are the bigger questions. There are a lot of small questions, theory questions in business combination as well in consolidation, like what is business, what is control, what is acquisition date. All of these should be referred to, but what you should really focus on when you're doing business combination is the PC workings, the net assets working, and especially the bigger questions that are there in the business combination as well as common control combinations. Similarly, for consolidation, the bigger questions like the chain holding question, like the questions involving full consolidation where fair value adjustments, dividend adjustments, etc. are there, should be focused on. Along with this, we will also pick up and complete 2 allied but important standards. Like in business combination, you would have a lot of impact of deferred taxes. A lot of exam questions also have deferred tax related adjustments along with business combination. So when we're doing business combination, we will also kind of finish off deferred taxes or Ind AS 12. While we are doing consolidation for subsidiaries, again there is some foreign subsidiary or intercompany elimination adjustments which are there. So foreign exchange will be completed and joint ventures. So this takes close to 40 hours of your time. So this is one of the most extensive and big sections which is there in your course. And then you do the miscellaneous topics, all the other topics, all the other standards like disclosure of related party, segment reporting. Again, it is not a rigid format. You can always finish off related parties and segment beforehand as well. But here we kind of again take a break. So we did Ind AS, then came to financial instruments and share-based payment, again did a few Ind AS, came to business combination consolidation, again do a few Ind AS like related parties, segment reporting, first time adoption, a few other topics like CSR, integrated reporting, conceptual framework, analysis of financial statements, etc. to be done over here. And this is a fairly small section, has more topics, but it's a fairly small section. Once we are done with that, related party segment, first time adoption, etc., you go to the last 2 topics, which is revenue and lease. Again, within revenue and lease, the most important part of revenue and lease sits in the middle to the end of the chapter. So in your revenue, you have in the beginning, what is a performance obligation, what is an accounting contract, transaction price, etc. From transaction price and allocation is where the main standard actually starts. The bigger problems are more important. Again, in lease, at the beginning, you have what is a lease, what is identified asset, what is right to direct use, etc. But mainly once lease payment, lease term, accounting for lease, lesser accounting, special cases starts, is where the standard becomes really important as well. So close to 10 hours, I would say approximately for revenue, 9.5 hours, and close to 8 hours for leases is your ideal time, and hence this should take you close to 145 hours. Acha, by this time the screen has blanked out and so have we. But trust me, if you kind of give this much time, you will not face a problem in the subject. Sir, we don't have this much time. Well, I would not recommend you go less than 120 hours for your self-study. I mean, करने के लिए people would also tell you that you can complete it in 50 hours, 60 hours, 70 hours. Your friends will tell you we have done that. But I mean, if you want to complete it in lesser hours, you take your calculator. If you want to complete, let us say in 60 hours, the only way you can complete it in 60 hours is divide everything of 120 hours divided by 2. I don't think it will do justice to the course, but if you have that much time, you do it that way. If you were to ask me, I would give 145 hours. That is, if I'm in the study leave, if I'm studying on an average 10 to 12 hours on a day on an average, that will take me close to 12 to 14 days. So this is your apt time. You can obviously increase the number of hours, or if you're doing it along with the theory paper, you can accordingly balance the time. So we have given this topic wise. I would suggest that at least for topics where you face a problem, you can just click on this link. I know you watch on 2 times and even faster if that was permissible. So you can kind of, we have tried to wrap up almost every revision video in 15 to 20 minutes. The bigger topics will probably take an hour, but the smaller topics in close to 15 to 20 minutes. So you can probably in 10 minutes be refreshed with the concept, then study the theory and go to the sums. That would be helpful. So this is the broad strategy that you should follow for FR. Please let me know your comments or feedback if you think we need to probably add on something in the strategy. You are the students, you are studying, so you would be in the best position. And if you are a student who has already kind of studied FR and you have your inputs, please do share it with me. We would try to incorporate and improvise on our strategy for the overall good for all our fellow students. Okay. So that should be it. That is it for me right now. So wish you all the very best. I'll be in touch with you through YouTube, through Telegram, and through all our other means as well. So start studying, go for it. Do not really cut short on the time. It is probably the last time you are studying such a interesting, intense, and a practically applicable course. Give it the due share of time, and trust me, this will be your best friend. This will be your best opener. If I put it in the context of your cricket, this will be your probably Surya Kumar, who will probably take you, hopefully not 3 consecutive ducks, but he will take you probably to the best of the centuries. And for that you need to devote some time. Please do not cut short on that. Do justice to the course, study it properly, and keep the momentum going. Okay, chalo, I'll catch you soon. Have a good day, study well, bye bye, take care.